Hello and welcome to the France 24 interview. Our guest today is the President of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for inviting me once again.
You're also the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States. France and Europe have announced that they would pull out militarily from Mali. Does this create a security vacuum for Mali, for Sahel, and even for countries like yours?
Clearly, a new security arrangement has to be made in the light of the decision of the European countries led by France to leave the Malian theater. And we're engaged in those discussions to see what modifications there has to be to the security posture of ECOWAS, as well as the European forces, because my understanding from the statement that the French president made to us in private as well as publicly is that they're relocating their forces to Niger, essentially. And that will therefore have an impact on the overall posture and strategy of the various players.
Are you regretting that decision?
I cannot regret it. It is a decision of France.
Right.
The initial decision to come into Mali was made between the then Malian government and the then French government. It was a decision that was taken. The circumstances in Mali are what have made it difficult for the French to continue to be there. We have to make new arrangements, that's all.
Right. One of the reasons invoked was the arrival of Russian mercenaries, the Wagner group. The French president says they're up to 800. Is this also a red line for you?
I'm not quite sure that is one of the reasons why my understanding is that it is the absence of cooperation between the French forces and the Malian government that is at the heart of this decision. I'm not sure that the presence of these mercenaries, alleged mercenaries, is a reason for them to cop out. I don't understand.
But is it a reason for you to worry, Mr. President?
Everybody's worried. We have a long-standing protocol within ECOWAS, within the AU, against foreign mercenaries intervening in the lives of our various states. So if there's a mercenary force involved in the life of Mali, it's a matter that concerns us. If you know the history of our continent, which I'm sure you do very well, you will know the role that foreign mercenaries have played in our history, and it has not been a positive one. So
they should leave.
Obviously, we would prefer to be dealing with the Malian state and the Malian government.
Dealing with the Malian state and government has been a problem for ECOWAS. I know you've been very involved. One of the main bones of contentions is the timetable for elections. There is a new proposal by Algeria of a 16-month transition. The junta had said they want 4 years. Is there a realistic solution on the horizon?
We're seeing. I mean, in these matters, the door is never closed to talk and to negotiation.
But are they going on, those negotiations?
There are contacts and dialogue going on. But the key is that, as far as we're concerned, there was an agreement between ECOWAS and the transitional authorities at the beginning in August 2020, which brought the transition to come to an end in February this year, at the end of this month. At the last minute, we heard from the new junta in Mali that they no longer were in a position to honor that pledge, but that they were proposing a situation for 4 or 5 years in office. Some of us were aghast at this. I'm an elected president in Ghana. I have 4 years in office. And for an unelected, illegitimate regime to want to be in office with the consent of ECOWAS for 5, 6 years sounded to us outrageous. And that is why the proposal was rejected. We are determined to work towards a more acceptable solution.
What is a more acceptable? 12 months, 18 months?
We'll see. I mean, it depends on what is put on the table. But clearly, the proposal that is now being put on the table by the Malian authorities is clearly unacceptable.
Less than a year would be acceptable?
My own feeling from talking to my peers is that a 12-month period, it would be an acceptable framework. But that is, I mean, you hear from my mouth, it's not that it is ECOWAS policy. We need to engage and sit down and then find out how that can work out.
Obviously, there is also Burkina Faso. ECOWAS sent a delegation there. They seem to be more upbeat in terms of what the intentions of the junta there is. Are you also more optimistic that the Mali scenario will not repeat itself?
So far, the signals and the words that are coming out of Ouagadougou under the new military authority there are, if you like, more encouraging. And we're seeing to what extent. But they've moved very quickly. They've put into being a technical committee on their side to make proposals to the junta about the timetable for the transition. And the impression that is being given is that they're in a hurry to put in an acceptable transitional framework.
18 months, like was originally done for Mali, is realistic, or do you fear that?
We'll see. We'll see what comes. At the end of the day, our position is very simple. It is up to the military authorities to find an accommodation with ECOWAS on a program that is acceptable to ECOWAS, and that is the position that we will stand. 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, whatever be the case, it has to be.
But no more.
It has to be a period. Yes, we're not interested in returning West Africa to the days of military rule. Well, we want to move away from that.
Yes, but you're moving back to it. Let's take the example of Guinea, where nearly 6 months after the coup, the Colonel Doumbouya has not given any timetable. I mean, are you concerned that the clock is ticking?
Of course we're concerned. We've said so. All our public statements have indicated...
More sanctions on the horizon?
We'll see. But we have indicated that we are very concerned about the absence of a clear timetable for the restoration of the democratic rule in Guinea.
When should they provide such
any time from now, as soon as possible. The engagement is a constant one.
Right. I mean, we've seen this epidemic of coups in West Africa. This must worry you because the coups are quite popular, it seems, with the...
I don't understand why you get a few people in the capital.
More than a few, Mr. President, it seems.
I don't know. That the information we get is also quite... This is why it is better to have systems of government where popularity is easily determined.
But are you worried that coups has become the norm now in recent months?
It's not the norm. It's not the norm. It's happened in three...
The trend, let's put it this way.
I'm not sure even we can call it a trend. It's been in 3 states out of the 15 states of ECOWAS so far. Obviously, we do not want this contagion to spread, and we're going to work towards making sure that it doesn't spread. We work with it domestically to provide good governance to our people, so to take away the basis for any pretext at intervention, and at the same time insist on adherence to our own protocols. We have a protocol that binds all of us on good governance and democracy in the region. We're determined to work towards that.
Is this a mortal danger for the region?
I don't understand the concept of mortal danger when you're dealing with states and communities and state functions. All kinds of evolutions happen, but it is something that is definitely not welcome when we are going to do our best to make sure that it doesn't repeat itself, and if possible, it is reversed.
Nigeria has said that the issue of term mandates, having this third mandate, is a problem, and that is sowing the seeds of such coups. We've seen it in Guinea. I mean, the third term of Alpha Condé was the reason for the coup. Are you concerned that...
I'm not quite sure. Is that what Colonel Doumbouya said? He hasn't said that. These are speculations by people like you.
But should ECOWAS be more...
I believe that ECOWAS is concerned. We have already indicated to the world that we are in the process of reviewing and having a look at our basic protocols in the light of the developments that have taken place. And I think it's a matter of concern. For instance, I'm concerned about it. I think, fortunately for me, the matter has been clearly determined by both practice and by principle. In Ghana, you have 2 terms, if you're lucky.
As you have been.
Yes, you have 2 terms, and that's that. And I believe that is a good model for the rest of our sister states.
Just as a conclusion, are you concerned that coups, destabilization could happen in Ghana, or do you believe that The state is solid on security and democratic grounds.
We were here when we saw what happened in America on the 6th of January, when there was an attempt in a country which had 200 uninterrupted years of democratic government, when people staged what appears to have been an attempt at an insurrection in America. So the issue of stability in every state is a constant matter. That is what the adage, the price of liberty is eternal vigilance, is that you have always in every generation to be looking at the issues of stability, the coherence of your political and state institutions, and make sure that they are in sync with what is happening in your time. I'm hoping that that is the position in Ghana.
Mr. President, I want to thank you very much
for
your time. You have a very busy schedule here in Brussels for the EU Summit. And thank you all for watching this edition of The Interview on France 24.